Twitch on.
Yes, we're going to start with Sean today.
Hello, everyone. We're super excited. We're coming to the end of the construction journey of this project, which has been a while. And we're looking forward to starting the next part, which is the actual running of this gym. We're at the last bits and pieces, planning to open on the 22nd of November, which is in 9 days' time. It's very soon. We've been overwhelmed with the interest from the crowdfunding campaign. We're over 200,000 now, I believe.
Yes.
So we're getting close to 2/3 of the minimum amount, which is something that's been really nice to hear. And we've had a lot of support, and everyone who's come to see the gym has been really interested and really excited to see it open and given us really good feedback so far. I think that's all I have to say.
Can you share the feedback that you've got? Like specifically, what are people saying when they like see the gym first?
Everyone is overwhelmed. So the first feeling that people get is, wow, this is much more than I expected. So this is the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Even coming from business people or investors who have visited the gym, everyone's like, this is something which is quite unique to Malta. You're doing things the right way. You're setting the right standards. The quality of the gym is super high, much more than is typically found in the rest of the island. So it's been quite overwhelmingly positive. I mean, we've put in quite a lot of effort into this gym ourselves. So we're super happy to actually see that the reception from people who are visiting the gym is what it is. But yes, I would say that it's become very clear that it's very difficult to portray what we're doing without actually visiting the gym itself. So when you see something on a screen, on a mobile, on something, it's very difficult to actually explain what we are building here. But when people come to the gym itself, the whole picture changes. So this is why I'm inviting people to actually come to the gym itself, because when you see what we are doing, the scale of what we are doing here, the conversation becomes something very different. And obviously, we can share quite a bit of our plans, which we have over obviously once we open the gym. As you can see, we've actually holding this meeting today in the gym itself. We now have light, and it looks like, it's dark outside, but it looks like daylight in here. We're doing the mats. I think you can see over here that there's quite a lot of stacks of mats still being set up. You can hear hammering in the background, which is the tension board being set up. So things are moving along, and we're happy to see that, obviously. In terms of the actual meeting today, I don't want to go through all of the pitch deck. So I would like to push people to go to talkaportal.com/crashpad, where there is all of the investment information. So there is the key investment information sheet, which has a lot of stuff. There is the pitch deck. And then everyone can come specifically to come speak to me about particular details. I would like today to be more of a question and answer session. I would like to invite people to actually ask their questions. If you don't have questions, we have a bunch of questions ourselves which have been asked previously, sure, and I will go through them and answer those questions. I had something else to say. Remember?
All right, I sent the link for the campaign into the chat to caportal.com/crashpad, or feel free to already go there, check it out. To see and access all the documentations, though, you need to register an investor profile, and we can walk you through that as well. My suggestion would be to like connect with the faces we have here. Voluntarily, if you like, please like introduce yourself. I see that Fran here wrote in the chat that I'm Fran, an older climber living in Hamrun. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm looking forward to using an all-weather indoor gym with rope climbing opportunities in addition to climbing outdoors. I have not yet made a decision to invest, although I'm still interested. Welcome, Fran. We're glad to have you here with us. Please feel free to ask any questions and shoot your questions to Crashpad. If you have it now, also feel free to shoot it over. And now I would just give the space. If any other of you would like to introduce themselves, we'd be happy to hear from you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Mark, originally from Germany, have been living here for a while. I met some of you guys. We had a brief conversation on the pre-opening. It was really cool. I decided to invest in it, and I'm really happy to see how it grows. I'm one of the people who can't stop talking when meeting other people. And actually, one of my friends, when I talked about it on last Friday when we have drinks, he was like, oh, now I have to get rid of one of my hobbies because that sounds amazing. So I'm making a lot of marketing for the thing because I'm one of the people who thinks this is not very Maltese what has been done there. If you look at a lot of other sports and engagements and whatever, it really stands out. I really love it. The scope, the quality, the people involved, it feels like something very sustainable, very big and super cool, not only locally, but also outside of the borders. And yeah, it's something that has been needed for years, and I was so happy when I found it. So yeah, keep on doing the work you're doing. It gets together phenomenally. So yeah.
Thank you.
Great to hear.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I'll jump in. Good afternoon. My name's Dean Sharp. I run a game development studio here in Malta. As I mentioned, I forget who I emailed or who responded to me today. Was it you? Okay, so I was saying that it actually just popped up on our weekly company newsletter, which was interesting. And for me, we moved the company here. I moved the company here about 10 years ago. And even doing something or finding something simple for the company to do, like softball. If you try to find a field in Malta where you can play softball, it's almost impossible, to the point where I'm ready to do the field of dreams and buy a field so that I can, so that we can play it. I mean, it's so difficult to find something you can do with a big group of, we have 60 employees, so trying to, team building and things like that. Anyways, it's interesting for me. One question I did have, and purely out of curiosity, how high are the ceilings?
6 meters.
6 meters. Understood. Yeah. Cool. I will have to come out and take a look at it. Anyways, nice to meet you guys. Just looking right now for curiosity, but as we talked in email, we'll come out and take a look at it next week if you're available, of course.
Please do.
Thank you.
I would like to extend the invitation to you, to everyone else in this group and beyond, anyone who might be listening. I'm not sure whether Rovnier is based in Malta or not, or Panos. Janos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but anyone who's based in Malta, we'd be happy to host you on a personal tour to actually see the space. So please reach out.
How can we contact you regarding visiting your gym?
Either info@crashpad.com.mt or david@crashpad.com.mt, or on our socials. Most of those go directly to me, and we can organize that directly.
But some are all the time here at Crashpad, so it's easy to organize.
Yes, if you go to Google Maps and type Crashpad, you can just show up on the location, and one of us will show you around.
Amazing. I'm gonna send the email into the chat and links to the socials as well if you'd like to reach out to Crashpad for a personal in-person tour of the gym. It's info@crashpad.com.mt, and I'm gonna send you the rest of the links in the chat. All right.
In the meantime, I'd like my screen and go through a few of the Q&As which I have planned. If I actually find them. Okay, so I'll go through some of the questions which we've had over the last few days by different people. These are all based on a combination of investment and how we're actually going to run the gym over the next few years. So what is the daily average user numbers you expect? So there's already a gym here, and a climbing gym in Malta, and the average number of users which we estimate they have is about 30 people a day. Our gym is about 7 times the size of this gym, and can take 350 people at any one time in the climbing area alone. We've set our initial daily average to be 60 people per day, which will then ramp up after a few months slowly to about 350 after 5 years. So that is, I think, a growth of about 6 to 7%. So let's say we're fairly conservative in our numbers. We know that places which offer a similar kind of entertainment in Malta can get hundreds of people every weekend. So we believe that the numbers which we're estimating are quite achievable quite easily. We also know that as the climbing industry matures, both here and abroad, the daily average is expected to increase drastically. We know of people who run climbing gyms abroad. In Budapest, we've been to the UK, we've been to the Czech Republic, Barcelona, Bologna, and average daily numbers of more than 300 people a day are, let's say, standard practice. We know gyms who have 500 people a day. We know gyms who have 2,000 people a day. So these are the numbers which we have estimated should be very achievable over a number of months. We also plan to have things like team building events, courses, competitions, birthday parties, family events, and other mass events, which easily ramp up the daily user average. So we have very high confidence that we can achieve these targets. We also have built-in referrals. So basically, if you buy a month of membership, you get 1 free entry for a new person. So that is kind of a built-in virality effect, which will compound over a number of years. What is the mitigation contingency plan at the start of the gym? So we have projected the first 6 months to be fairly slow until the word spreads and partners such as the team building companies, which we are building relationships with right now, ramp up their operations to include Crashpad. There is an eager community of climbers, as we've seen in the sneak preview, where we had about 100 people show up to the gym who are very eager to actually come to the gym. And we know that there are a lot of people who have tried climbing in the past, but have not found the space in Malta. And we expect to re-engage those climbers fairly quickly. We also have different marketing plans in place, which will kick off depending on the uptake of the gym. So we have, let's say, a neutral marketing plan, something which is pessimistic if things don't do well, and optimistic, which is just maintenance of what happens. And there are different budgets associated to them. Seasonality of the market. As with everything else, there is a bit of seasonality in climbing. In general, people who climb indoors or casual climbers who climb indoors usually tend to climb less in summer. While the winter months are usually when there is less light outdoors and it's cold and it's everything, people just tend to climb more indoors. So this is kind of the seasonality which we expect. However, we have mitigation or plans to actually make sure that when we have the low casual climber season, we have other things which are making up for it. So basically, we plan to have summer kids clubs, which are very, very common here in Malta, and a lot of people actually join them. We plan to work with language school groups whose obviously peak times are during the summer. We also have young tourist groups. So we are working with travel agents or somebody who is actually a tourism distributor to have specific packages for young tourists to come to the gym. We also have the gym itself has quite a lot of built-in temperature control, so to speak. So we have AC to keep the temperature.
Low motion fan.
Sorry?
Low motion fan.
Yes, we have low motion. We have 2 low motion fans. We have fresh air supply, and we have cooling. Obviously, it's not expected to be cold, but the point is you'll be in a gym which is not hot to climb in.
even a filtration system.
Yes, the filtration system. The warehouse itself doesn't get hot in summer because it's built over 2 floors, and we are on the ground floor, and we are not in an area which is exposed directly to the sunlight, so the gym itself does not get hot. So that makes it quite comfortable to climb in summer.
David, before jumping to the next question in your FAQ, we've got a question from Mark. How will the corporate and facilitated events interfere with day-to-day operations?
I'm sorry.
How will the corporate and facilitated events interfere with day-to-day operations?
Okay. So the idea is that we want to do most of the corporate events in the morning. So we plan to rent out the gym only in the morning. So up to 4 p.m. This means that during the low period of the gym, we can actually get the corporate team event or team building or whatever.
Or even clubs,
schools, outings, all of that stuff. In the evening from 4 p.m. onwards, we leave it to the daily climbers, basically. So that means we're making sure that we get these bulk figures, but at the same time, we're not creating a negative effect on the people who are coming on a daily basis, so to speak.
Yeah, the only thing is that whenever we are organizing a big climbing competition, for example, on 6th of December, there will be a championship here, the first championship here at Crashpad. Probably we have to close part of the gym or part of the walls, or even
yes, but this is standard practice.
But this is
so people know that when a competition is coming up, you need to close the gym to actually set up the routes, close the routes, make sure that the routes are not visible, because otherwise it's not an actual competition.
Yep.
We also have a public calendar, so people can look at the public calendar to see what is actually happening in the gym, just so that they can plan their workouts accordingly, basically. Can I share my screen again? How many people can be at the gym at any one time? So we can have 350 people all at once in the climbing areas. So that's 275 people in the main area and 75 people in the mini pad, which is the kids / beginners area. The cafe has a capacity for another 100 people. And between the yoga studios, the chill out area, the gym, the sauna and the ice bath, we can take more than 50 people. So at any one time, there can be 500 people in the gym, in the whole facility. We mentioned that we plan. So when we've been speaking to people, the moment they see the space, they see that the space is actually very good for not just a team building event, but let's say, like you were saying, Dean, you hire the gym in the morning to have, you have your presentation with the company numbers, with the company plan, and all of that stuff, and then the afternoon maybe you do climbing and all of that stuff. Maybe in the evening you go to yoga. So the idea is that we can actually rent out the space to do this kind of stuff quite often. What sporting event?
Let me speak a word because we have a couple of new joiners. Is the question, is the time for you to ask any question you like from Crashpad and connect with them. Feel free to turn your microphone on, use the chat to ask away. And yes, you can go on, David.
What sporting events do you plan to hold at the gym? So we plan to hold both national and international events and competitions. National events, we already have the national climbing competition planned for the 6th of December. This is by Climb MT. And it will be the first competition which we're holding in Crashpad. We also plan to have several of these competitions, national ones, and then we would like to also open up the space to actually have international events. We are affiliated with the Association of British Climbing Walls, which gives us quite a reach already in the UK. And we plan to start making relationships with other entities across Europe to actually host anything which is related to climbing. The Titan wall, which is the competition wall which we have, which is the same thing which there is in climbing World Cups and in the Olympics, is something which is a very unique selling point. There are only 15 gyms across the world who have this Titan wall. So this is something which we can specifically pitch to let's say national or local training camps, national training teams, all of that stuff. So we can offer it as they come, they do a training camp, they will get kind of exclusive access to the comp wall in the morning, and they know that they can do competition simulation, competition training, and all of that stuff on the climbing wall. We also plan to have, we want to reach out to a lot of local and even possibly not local sports entities to do cross training at the gym. So, for example, gymnastics and climbing complement each other very, very well. But so we already have two gymnastic providers who have bookings for December. But we know and we are aware that today cross training in sports is kind of, it's one of the best practices to do other sports besides your own sport as part of the training of your sports team. So we have contacts for a lot of sports organizations in Malta, and there will be somebody on the phone reaching out to these people to make sure that we build relationships to these people and get them as much as possible to the gym. We also plan to host community events. In fact, this is part of our mission, which is we are climbers, we are community, we are Crashpad. Community is at the base of, or one of the fundamentals of running this gym. So we want to make, let's say, Crashpad the place to host events for people who enjoy the climbing lifestyle. This includes climbing film screenings, themed nights. So themed nights based on holidays and stuff like that, but not only on holidays, but also for things like specific demographics. So once again, from our research that we did when we were traveling abroad, things like LGBTIQ nights, singles nights where you do meet and climb, jam and jam. So we'll have jamming sessions while you're doing climbing jams. All of these are things which obviously keep the community active, keep the community coming back, maybe pop-up markets. There are quite a lot of markets here which happen very often. All of this stuff are things which we want to organize to keep the community alive. Contracts with the government. So right now we don't have specific contracts with the government, but we are, once again, we have a very good relationship with ClimbMT. ClimbMT is a non-profit organization which can get direct funding from the gym, and then they will use Crashpad as their base for training. So there's going to be a very close collaboration with ClimbMT. I'm also starting to build relationships with Sport Malta in general to see what we can do there. This is, let's say, an ongoing thing, and it is something which is going to stay in my direct responsibility. So this is something which I will be building over the next years or months to make sure that we have a very good relationship with the government, maybe organize specific events and everything like that.
I see you're also in talks with the Olympic Committee.
Yes, the Malta Olympic Committee. I have contacts in the Malta Olympic Committee. Again, things unfortunately take a bit of time to develop a relationship, especially with the government. But obviously, we're in it for the long haul, and we will find ways to make it happen.
Yeah,
Great. We have a question. Yes.
Sorry, we believe that after the gym open and running, it's going to be much easier to convince and to approach, for example, the Olympic Committee as well.
Nice. And you're opening very soon, planned to be opening on the 22nd of November. So hopefully it will have some processes as well. We have a question from Stefania. The question goes, how can this business grow beyond one physical location? What's the scalable element in your model? What concrete evidence do you have that demand in Malta can sustain your revenue targets? It's a three-part question. So if you want me to
it's a
repeat,
complex.
I'm just gonna like go through it. So, and the third part would be what measures are being taken to reduce the facility's carbon footprint? For example, LED lighting, solar panels, smart ventilation, or energy efficient installation.
Well,
Yes.
let me speak about the carbon footprint first. The space itself is already very well, like I said before, we have double insulation of the walls, and the space itself is on the ground floor. So on top of us, there is another floor, which means we don't get direct sunlight. So the space itself isn't very hot, so we will be keeping our, let's say, energy bills quite conservative. Like I said, there are LED lights in the space. There is also a solar panel installation on the top. There are 263 solar panels, which generate about 70 kilowatts.
Sorry, darling, which drawer is the ice? Middle one or bottom one?
So there are this solar panel installation. Our climbing walls are made from sustainable wood, so they are certified to be sustainable. We plan to have incentives for people, even the mats. We plan to have incentives for people who do not come with a car, maybe come with a bike, to reduce the carbon footprint also of people traveling to the gym. We'll be reaching out specifically to most of the people around the area who do not need to actually travel to come to the gym. I think those are very specific direct measures to decrease our carbon footprint. About the other questions about the financials and about expanding this space.
Yeah, the financial, let's start with the revenue streams. So altogether, we are talking about 8 different revenue streams, including the two big chunk of the streams are, the first is the entrance tickets, so daily day passes and memberships, which approximately 32% of the revenue. And the other 30% is coming from the different events. So events from, let's say, birthday parties, company events, international, national competitions, and so on. We have 3 partnerships with Third Generation, Pro Clinic, and Island Yoga. And since we have this kind of partnership with those how can I say, companies' names, we agreed them on revenue sharing, which means in long term, the possibility to, how can I say, generate revenue. It's much more than just rent out those spaces for a fixed renting cost. What else? We have gear shop and rental shop as well within the revenue streams, and obviously on the first floor above us we have a sublease space already, 725 square meter, and we have a remaining 500 square meter which is still under negotiation or discussion, because we have several ideas. We have a lot of interest. There are a lot of interest to that area, but we haven't decided yet what we are going to do with it.
The location itself is, we have a contract for 20 years for the location itself, and we have rented out, as in we have rented the whole warehouse. So basically, we have also plans to be able to actually eventually develop phase 2 of the space, which includes higher climbing walls, higher supports, roped climbing, basically. But this is, let's say, a phase 2. We know there are plans for expanding, obviously, the Crashpad brand. It's a little bit too early, but I think associations like ClimbMT would like to have their own gym, and we foresee the ability to. So because we will be one of the first people to run a gym in Malta, we're going to have the experience to actually run a gym quite well. So we would envisage, and we've already had some, let's say, very early discussions with people who might create a small climbing wall or maybe something casual or something which is pop-up, which we will be able to run ourselves for them. So they would provide the climbing gym and the climbing wall, and we would be running the space in collaboration with them. So these are things which we can actually do. We're quite sure. Climbing is a very niche sport, and we kind of know that, you know, the investment to actually set up a climbing wall is very significant, and I don't think there are too many people who would be ready to do something like this. But we believe that our expertise, once we build this, will make it, you know, a dead simple, you know, logical way to actually do a collaboration with someone else who wants to run a gym. In terms of the numbers of people which whether there is the market itself, let's say we know that there are about 500 people right now in Malta who are, let's say, fairly frequent climbers. We know that there is quite a significant number of people who travel to Malta specifically for climbing.
You can leave that there.
And this is something which will grow more once we actually have a guidebook which is updated, because Malta is doing the rounds as a climbing destination, especially in the winter months, because we have a very timid, very not harsh winter compared obviously to the rest of Europe. Right now, since we launched our social media, we have 900 people on our Instagram, almost 2,000 people on our Facebook, 450 people in our email list. So even without too much marketing, we've already got quite a community built around the gym. Obviously, our job is going to be to actually bring people in. But our numbers, like we said in the beginning, are very, very conservative. So we do believe that with all of the elements that we've built into the actual strategy of generating footfall to the gym, and the way that we're offering courses, and the way that we're offering support, and the way that we're incentivizing people to come to the gym, referrals, our specific person who is going to be outreaching, all of this we believe is something which is very achievable. We think we're actually quite conservative with our numbers, but obviously we'd rather be conservative and exceed expectations than set very high revenue numbers, which we cannot achieve.
And one of the scalable elements, it's one thing that we created a climbing gym which has, let's say, it has really high standard itself. I mean, the climbing wall, because it's provided by EP. But the other thing is that we are establishing standards, bringing standards from UK. We are ABC and NICAS, and that's the other thing. So we just not, how can I say, wanted to invest into and made the first investment or the initial investment of the business, and then we're just waiting to generate the revenue and profit. But also we want to invest into the people who are working with us. You know, we want to develop them and ourselves as well. So we want to create a kind of environment where the climbers love to climb, and the staff and the employee love to come in and every day as well. I mean, I think it's important.
Yes. I have spent quite a lot of time in the existing climbing gym which there is in Malta, and I can see a lot of new faces always coming in. The problem is that the current offering is not of sufficient quality. So what is happening is that people they would like to try climbing, but they do not become more frequent climbers. But we believe that this is because the quality of the offering is not good enough. We've designed the space to be similar to what there is outside of Malta. So basically, there is a climbing space, there is a chill out area, there is the cafe where people can do remote working, there is a silent room or booking room. The idea,
section,
the wellness section, the island, the yoga stuff,
the gym,
the gym area, the physiotherapy clinics. So basically, we know that there is a whole fitness lifestyle, which is people no longer the community is changing. That people are these community clubs or these sports clubs or these activity clubs are the next in thing. That people are, they're finding their community, they're finding their space in areas such as Crashpad, where they can spend quite a significant number of hours at the gym itself. So you come and you do work in the morning, you do some training, you have lunch at the cafe. Then you do your climbing, then you hang out at the community space or with the chill out area. So, and we've seen this abroad where you can see that. So I've been abroad working, climbing, working again, climbing again. And you can see a lot of people doing it. This is what we want to offer. And we believe that this is something we can definitely do here in Malta. Yes.
That's a long answer.
Yes. So, as part of that, let's say this is obviously ties very well into how we plan to bring people into the gym. This is like the whole offering itself is why we believe that we can easily generate footfall. But we are building specific relationships with team building companies, travel agents, destination management companies. Most of them in Malta have already visited the gym, event organizers. And we have a specific person who is doing outreach and targeting, doing all of these mass events. We have specific incentives, bring people, like I said, the referral and the commission-based or the referral mechanisms for influencers and things like that. We also want to offer very good support for people who actually come into the gym. So one of the mistakes we've seen happen here in Malta is that people come into the gym, newcomers, they pay their daily membership, they're set loose in the gym, they go to start climbing, they cannot climb because they don't know technique, they don't know what to do, they get overwhelmed by the space, and they don't come again. On the other hand, what we want to do at Crashpad is that when people come into the gym, they get full support. So all of our stuff is going to be level 1 bouldering coaches. Yes, so all our stuff are going to be coaches definitely able to support beginners. So the idea is that the moment anyone walks into the gym, they get a lot of support to get hooked to the gym itself. We're offering we plan to have courses for beginners, courses for people who are, in mid-range, courses for advanced people, training plans. All of this stuff is designed to keep people coming back to the gym. So this is why we think that we can actually grow. Yes. So in terms of, let's say, we can speak a little bit about OPEX. We have about 12 FTEs to run the whole gym,
13
12 to
FTE.
13 full-time equivalents. So some of them obviously are going to be part-time. So that is obviously the biggest chunk of our operating expenditure, together with the rent of the whole space.
Yeah.
But this is something which we can mitigate with the subleasing of the other 2 spaces, and obviously the partnership with the different vendors or with the different partners which we have, which are the Pro Clinic, Island Yoga, and
Third Generation
Cafe.
Yeah,
We've got a question from Dean. He's curious about the size of the staff average at any time. How many people are the staff?
You kind of just touched on that though.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why we spoke about the OPEX.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Is the crowdfunding a donation to the gym? No, definitely not. You get equity in the company. So we've created a Crashpad special purpose vehicle, which is the fourth shareholder in Crashpad Limited. All crowdfunders will have an allocation of shares in proportion to their investment, basically. And finally, or almost finally, how can I liquidate my investment? So we envisage three options of actually getting the ROI on the investment. They are not set in stone because their actual activation depends on several factors, which right now we cannot predict, and we can act accordingly. So we envisage three options. Number one is going to be share buyback. So the moment our primary loans, especially with the bank, have been paid off, we would like to offer a share buyback. We will estimate the value of the company at that point in time, and we will offer to buy back shares at the price of the company at that point in time, at the valuation of the company at that point in time. And crowdfunders can decide whether they want to sell their shares or keep them. The second option is we pay dividends. Once again, that from that time, anybody who stays as a shareholder will start to get dividends based on the profits of the company. And obviously, you can also sell your shares privately. So you can put up your shares for sale.
And obviously, in that case, Crashpad, and I'm absolutely sure that even Tuka Portal will
try to facilitate with the sales.
Yeah, to find how can I say, a buyer for that stake. And back to the dividend option, it's we are planning to pay out 20-30% of the profit in dividend after or from the fifth year. Even, obviously, if the company reach sooner the return of investment and able to pay back the SGS loan to APS and DB earlier, it can be, this time can be earlier as well. Or it can happen earlier as well.
Finally, or at least our final question from my prepared questions, how was the value of the company estimated? We tried several methods of valuation of the company. Basically, all of the methods of the valuation which we tried came within 10% of each other. So we believe that we are very, very close to the true value of the company. The one which we used is discounted cash free.
Discounted free cash flow, cash flow to firm, actually. And obviously, because we are talking about startups, we don't have a revenue stream yet. To be honest, we checked the other two possibilities. The first one was EBITDA combined with a multiplier, and the second one was based on the capex plus expertise contribution. And as David mentioned, all of the three scenario was pretty close to each other, and the variance was less than 10%. So this is the way we calculated the value of the company, or the pre-money value of the company, which is around almost 2.3 million right now, and which is audited and overviewed by a third-party professional as well.
That's all from what we prepared so far. Obviously, please ask any other questions which you might have.
For the new joiners who joined not long ago, so feel free to ask away. Do not be afraid if there was a question that maybe have already been answered, because this is the space for you to ask questions in the next 7 minutes that we left. If you have any questions, please speak up or send it to the chat. In the meantime, I would show you the campaign page of Crashpad, where you can make your investment. So let me share my screen.
Oli.
All right. So how you can access Crashpad's campaign page is through
new generation of climbers.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Well, good to see you. What brings you to Crashpad?
Jump.
Well, for now, I'm just jumping around on the mat.
As you can see, yes, the new generation of Crashpad as well. They will also have a kids zone, and just climbing training for every level, from beginner to advanced climbers for every age. Super nice to see faces. All right, so
Workouts are
yes.
still on site as well. I mean, even if 6 to 6 actually, still they are still working and fixing the whole structure. You know, obviously their aim as well to finish the project as soon as possible. So
yes, so as many people can already start using Crashpad and go climbing. If you like Crashpad and find and would like to join the journey, become a part owner in their success, then go to turkaportal.com/crashpad. I'm gonna send it again in the chat. This is their campaign page that you see on the screen. Here you can read the description about the campaign itself. You can see all the data here, how much they are raising. They actually already managed to raise 210,000 euros, which means that they stand at around 70% in their campaign. And we're planning to close the campaign very soon, so we can accept investments in the next few weeks. And right now, Crashpad is also offering some discounts for those who decide to invest a larger amount with them. And we offer now perks for discount on the shares, meaning that you would get more shares with the same amount of money that you would invest once they expire. The offer is valid for the next 11 days. And you can also get some other perks such as merch packages and invitation to their private some of their like private events, get an investor t-shirt. We're gonna share all of the perks and also recording of this investor meeting to all of those who registered to today's investor meeting. So you can listen back and then get all of the important information. If you'd like to invest, just click on the invest button here. To do so, you need to register an investor profile on turkaportal.com. It's approximately a 10-15 minute long process where you need to upload your ID, proof of address, and do a short little test to be approved as an investor. But this is like a very low barrier for anyone who join to become an investor and join this crowdfunding campaign. And you can invest already from 100 euros into Crashpad up to anything, 30,000, 40,000. The larger, the better. And the more share you get, the more you invest, the more shares you would get of Crashpad. And this is the page where once you decide that you invest, you can put in the amount you'd like to invest here, and for the deposit for the investment, you need to pay 25% of it, either through card payment or bank transfer that you can do here. And the rest, the 75%, then would be requested after the campaign has closed successfully. And this is the campaign page. And then you can click on invest here, and then it would take you to the card payment gate. And just let me go back to the campaign page. So other than the description, you can see some updates that Crashpad provides here. what's happening in their life, in their gym. These are actually the new perks that we offer right now. You can see here that also climbing pass could be included with your investment as well. Here are the different tiers, and this is the amount of the investment for which you can get the respective perks here. Other than this, you can also see information of the team members, see all of the transactions of the crowdfunding campaign. You can use this forum to ask questions from Crashpad as well. And on the last subpage, you can find Crashpad's documents, their pitch deck, what the business is about. You can find data about the market, their revenue streams, everything that you can know about Crashpad as a business and their vision. You can also find a short summary of the financial plan as well as the key investment information sheet that defines the terms of the investment and how what you get if you invest in this crowdfunding round, and yes, other documents that you can download and browse through. And then that would be it for today. I see we've got no more questions. Am I correct? Just let me check quickly if you've got any questions. No. Then thank you everyone for coming and participating. And if you're interested in visiting Crashpad in person and get a tour from the founders themselves, then please shoot them a message at info@crashpad.com.mt. You can reach out to them via their Facebook, Instagram, Google, anywhere. And if you have any questions regarding the campaign and how to make an investment, please message us on crashpad@tukaportal.com and visit the campaign page. And wish you happy investing and happy climbing. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye bye.